Hopefully you guys can hear me. I do not have microphones on today. I am in my car. We have a lot to talk about in the sense of Nancy Pelosi and how she fell down a flight of marble stairs and just destroyed her hip. And there's a very high likelihood that she will die from this. We need to talk about the drones in New Jersey and what Mayorkas is saying and what General Mike Flynn is saying and what even Andrew Tate is saying, weirdly. We got to talk about Trump and what he has said lately. Let's talk about J.D. Vance and what he's doing for Daniel Penny, you know, the guy who saved a bunch of people on the subway in New York City and then was acquitted of any wrongdoing. And then we also need to talk about Joe Biden and how he's just a walking piece of absolute shit. And then just whatever else pops up in the middle. So there's a ton that I've got here. If you've been here before, you already know there will be no rhyme or reason to how this goes. There will be ping-ponging back and forth. Hello, squirrel. Hopefully you enjoy it. If not, it's very easy to leave. Nobody's holding a gun to your head to make you stay. And let's jump into it. So number one, I love you guys. Number two, let's just go ahead with all these bookmarks that I have on X. I'm telling you, this is the best thing ever. Thank you, Elon Musk, for X. And even General Mike Flynn is saying how amazing X is, because we as the citizens of not just the United States, but the world, have the opportunity to keep the people up to date second by second with what is going on. And that goes for everything, not just the drones, not just Luigi Mangione and the murder of Brian Thompson, not just Nancy Pelosi and how the marble staircase, you know, won, but everything. So you guys have heard about the drones over New Jersey. We've talked about these numerous times, and we're going to continue to talk about them. I know a lot of people are probably tired of it, but it's important to have this conversation. If you want to leave for a few minutes and come back because you don't give two shits about drones, that's fine too. Here's what's interesting to me, and I've said it before. If they were a nothing burger, we would not have CNN doing a live sit down with Mayorkas to talk about it. You wouldn't have General Mike Flynn posting about it. You wouldn't have the White House having talks about it. I don't know what it's called when they're at the podium, but it's not really a press conference. I don't know what it's called there. But anyway, it wouldn't be a big deal if they were actually nothing. I saw this post from the New York Post, which New York Post, they're very far left leaning, but you still have to take into consideration that they're going to talk about things we need to know. And they put up a post about 15 hours ago, and it said, Iran's new massive drone ship left home port last month and went weeks without being spotted. Now, this is why this is such a big deal, because everybody's saying that the drones are coming from the ocean and from this Iranian drone ship. And our government has been like, nah, that's not happening. We know it's not them, but they can't tell us who it is, which makes me immediately distrust them when they say they know it's not them because they can't tell us who it is. How can you rule this out but not have any flipping clue about what it actually is? Doesn't make sense, right? Right. So we have that part. Then we have, I'm going to read this to you because I read this and I thought this was very interesting. This is from somebody named Anthony Fradella over on X. He was replying to Charlie Kirk News. And he says, here's what I think. All right. Again, these are normal people leaving comments, giving their thoughts on what they're seeing, especially those who live in New Jersey. The Maryland governor, y'all, we're going to get to in a second, but even the governor of Maryland has posted up on X a video and a comment about how he has now seen said drones. Same thing in New York with, oh, what's that lady's name? Black lady. Don't remember her name. I'm probably sure I have it saved, but she's huge, reporter, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we'll get to it. But this is what this guy says. Here's what I think. Y'all ready? The drones are from our government. I believe that. Our government is going to use this whole drone situation to give themselves more power through legislation and or the creation of some new three-letter agency, which will also strip more rights and money away from us. Also, and more importantly, they are going to dramatically escalate this drone situation in the coming days/weeks, and sometime before January 20th, they will enact the COG, which is the continuity, is that how you say it? Continuity of government. I swear, some words too hard for me. I don't know why. They're going to enact the COG protocol of 2007 when it was written into law or enacted or whatever to give themselves emergency powers to stop President Trump from being inaugurated. I hope I'm wrong. I put nothing past the Democrats. I put nothing past our government. I put nothing past the warmongers. I put nothing past the people who put profit over people, which is our current administration, as witnessed by the selling off of all of the materials that could be used to build the wall, because they would rather Donald Trump have to come in and spend 3 times as much to build the same flipping wall that he started when he was in presidency. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came through and decided, no, walls are bad. Influx of illegal immigrants is good. And now this is where we are. So anyway, back to the drones. What this person said, Anthony Fridella, don't know who they are, but it makes absolute sense to me. Like I said, you have our government. They've done so many things against the people of our country and been like, well, since we got caught, I guess we'll say we're sorry. Or most of the time it's, you can't really prove it. So, right? Okay. Project Bluebeam is being talked about by everybody. So that's a thing. Let's get to this part here. This is on Charlie Kirk News. I don't know if that is specifically run. It's a fan page, so it's not Charlie Kirk himself, so we're going to go grain of salt with this, obviously. But this person says, we are fucked. The drones are Project Bluebeam. Look for vids of them transforming from balls of light to planes when filmed to see for yourself. No. That part, not real. That part doesn't make sense, because I have seen a lot of AI videos where if you step back and look at it for what it is, as opposed to looking at it emotionally, you go, yeah, no, that feels altered. But this, to me, this person posted on Reddit, okay, on Reddit conspiracy, because it's only a conspiracy until it's proven true. What, 6 months is, I think, about the time it takes. This here says they are a 25-year radar operator for a major agency. Just thought I'd let you all know what has been going on these past few weeks. Now, please remember, when I read you guys these things, these are, again, regular people. I cannot say that any of this is fact, but the things that they are saying I'm relaying them to you because it's how I think about these things and what I believe could be the possible cause behind everything, right? It says here, the drones are part of a military drill being conducted by Space Force. Everything is on a need-to-know basis, which is why there's so much confusion. That shit makes sense to me, right? What gets me concerned and why I had to make this post is that something big is about to go down. I happen to know that there are additional full lockout drills that are scheduled to take place between now and Christmas Eve. These operations involve the full turnover of all radio/radar and aircraft communications to the military for several hours at a time. In conjunction with that, there are also scheduled satellite launches off the books, which have been occurring since October. They're setting up some kind of big show for the public very soon. CNN was even at our facility shooting pre-roll footage for a future story. I don't know exactly what is going on, but all I know is this: get ready. Peace and safety to all you and your families. And again, I cannot prove that this person, one, is a 25-year radar operator. I cannot prove that this person works at any place where CNN would show up, because anybody can say anything on social media. Anybody can say anything anywhere, right? You can pull a whole lie out your ass and say it like it's the truth, and some people will believe you and some people will not. CNN finding the prisoner in that cell. But anyway, the only reason I'm sharing some of these with you is because they feel, in my gut, they feel feasible. They feel like something that could happen, right? Do we want it to? Oh, hell no. No, not at all. I would much rather this whole drone thing be absolute horseshit, and I've overhyped it, and it's been overhyped and over-exaggerated, and I look stupid. I would much rather look stupid than it be something that is going to be detrimental to any people or anything like that. I'll take stupid over detrimental any day, right? So I read this, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. Then General Mike Flynn, y'all, I'm probably still backwards because YouTube flipping hates me lately, but General Mike Flynn posted on X, #DigitalSoldiers, on the move. Let's get the reporting, videos, and analysis of these damn drones posted ASAP. Okay, so again, when the big dogs are talking about it, it gives me pause to think that it's something worth discussing, right? Let's get to this. Oh, no, is this one? Do I want that one? Okay, let's read this. So this is from somebody named Samuel Hammond, and he says, this matches the videos I've seen and certainly helps explain the government's odd response, right? Says the well, I guess the P is silent. I don't know. The Pterodynamics XP4 is being developed for the U.S. Navy as a recon and logistics drone capable of picking up and dropping off packages between land and a moving ship, including in high seas and high winds. As the name suggests, it's a trans-wing design, which transitions between quadcopter and fixed-wing modes for both long-range flight and VTOL capabilities, so it can hover pretty much at will. Officially, it has a 1-hour flight time at max payload, but could have been upgraded. It's about 13 feet wide by 6 feet long, about the dimensions of a compact SUV, consistent with witness statements. Now, and it gives a flight path. There's a link to a flight path here. It said the flight path leads directly from the coast up to northern New Jersey. And wouldn't you know it, right where it's most commonly seen, we find Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, home of the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division, whose whole job is to research, test, and support aircraft for Navy combat operations. Now, the reason I saw this and decided to keep this and share this, Navy combat operations, is because there's been a lot of oceanic activity with ships over the past year or so, over the past months even, with North Korea and Taiwan, with some other people that now I can't remember all the players, but there has been a lot of issues in the oceans lately. So when they say that this is for Navy combat operations, okay, that makes sense. New Jersey coastline is where these are being seen. Same thing in Maryland and the coastline. They're saying they're coming from the ocean, these drones. And it would make sense if it's all one big government exercise, I guess is the right word. So it says here, this also explains why it's appearing every night and how it's sticking around so long. It literally has a home base to swap batteries at all night long. And while they're not talking about them, it's their drones and they don't want to advertise. Also makes perfect sense to me, because drones only have such a finite amount of battery space or time for them to be able to float around, right? You have got to change the batteries out. If you don't, they fall, you lose them, they're gone forever, whatever. So if these are flying from a naval ship in the ocean, which is where they're going to stay, right, and to a base, it makes sense. Now, when I read the McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, DIX, not the other kind, dirty minds, when I read about that, I remember just last year, maybe it was last year, we talked here on the channel about there was a fire. I'm trying to remember all the information because a lot of stuff has happened over the last couple of years that we've been here doing this Squirrel Tribe. But there was a fire in that same area, in the base area, and they could not tell us how the fire started. They did not say it was weather related. They didn't say what started the fire. My brain. Ryan started the fire. If you watch The Office, it's funny. If not, you have no idea what I'm talking about. We'll just continue on. It was just interesting to see that same name again after having spoken about this exact base months ago, and a sporadic fire that took out hundreds or thousands of acres. I don't think lives were lost, but some structures were taken down. And I cannot remember all of the exact parts, but it's just, when you see the same name of the same base a couple times, it stays with you, right? So that is one thing that's been said. So far, everything that I have seen and everything I have read goes back to it being a government thing, which is why they are not telling us what's going on, because they are behind it, which is also why they're letting these drones fly around in FAA space, airspace. As a regular drone operator, you cannot go above, I believe it's 50 feet, 50 yards without some sort of clearance in certain areas. You're going to be pinged with your drone no matter what if you're above a certain height. These drones you're seeing in New Jersey are high enough up that they would clearly be noticed and clearly show up on a radar, right? They're saying that the drones aren't showing up. That's what they try to say, that they're not even seeing these drones. Well, that's bullshit, because it's not feasible. It's not possible, right? We have videos of them. They know they're there, but for them not to tell us why, it's because they have something to do with it. So this next one that I have here, let me just unbookmark these things because it's taking up a lot of space. Go away, bookmark. The next one that goes with it, Governor Larry Hogan, this is the governor of Maryland, right there, butt up to New Jersey, says, last night, beginning at around 9:45 p.m., I personally witnessed and videoed what appeared to be dozens of large drones in the sky above my residence in Davidsonville, Maryland, which is 25 miles from our nation's capital. I observed the activity for approximately 45 minutes. Like many who have observed these drones, I do not know if this is increasing activity over our skies is a threat to public safety or national security, but the public is growing increasingly concerned and frustrated with the complete lack of transparency and the dismissive attitude of the federal government. I think that is what is bothering people the most, the dismissive attitude, the treating us like we are stupid and we don't know what we're seeing. They're trying to gaslight the shit out of us. If they tell us enough times and we're not seeing it, at some point you think to yourself, well, am I batshit crazy? Am I not seeing these things? Is it really just an airplane, Ryan Hall, y'all? Or is it actually a drone? So it says here, the government has the ability to track these from their point of origin, but has mounted a negligent response. People are rightfully clamoring for answers, but aren't getting any. We are being told that neither the White House, the military, the FBI, or Homeland Security have any idea what they are, where they came from, or who has launched or is controlling them, but that they pose no threat. Okay? That response is entirely unacceptable. I join with a growing bipartisan chorus of leaders demanding that the federal government immediately address this issue. The American people deserve answers and action now. And there's a video, but, oh, that's volume. We don't need the volume, I don't think. Unless he's saying something. I don't think he's saying anything. It's very hard to see. Obviously, you're going to have this is pointless because there's a glare. It's just a zoomed in view of some stuff moving around. But because I'm in my car, the glare is atrocious and you can't see shit. So we're not even going to do that. But again, you have government officials standing up, speaking up and saying, this is not okay. Neither is this light that's coming in. Better? Kind of, sort of. So let's continue on. There's more. Here is Mayorkas on CNN talking about the drone situation. This is all of 26 seconds. It's nothing big, but it's worth listening to for 26 seconds.
President-elect Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the president-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat.
How can you say you haven't seen anything unusual and you know of no threat, but at the same time let them stand up at the podium inside the White House and talk about the fact that, oh, we've seen the drones, but we know they're not from Iran. We know they're not blah, 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 blah. They are conflicting lies. How about that? Conflicting lies that are being just fed to the people through this mainstream media bullshit, and we're expected to believe it. They really need to get on the same page is what needs to happen. They need to all call each other, have a conference call or whatnot, Zoom, if you will, and talk about the fact, hey, how do we want to lie to the American people today? I know, let's just tell them they're all dreaming. It's not real. It never happened. Go back to sleep. Because that's what's gonna come about. Now, Megyn Kelly is now joining in the drone conversation. I told you yesterday, when Benny Johnson starts talking about it, I'm going to pay attention. Megyn Kelly has now popped in, and Megyn Kelly's like, hey, y'all, pay attention to this shit because it's a thing. Hello. Then you have Donald Trump calling and saying, y'all need to be transparent. You need to go figure out what's going on. Donald Trump. Okay? I want you to hear this. Megyn Kelly says you will not find a more credible person than Rich McHugh, which is who we're about to listen to, total man of honor and integrity. Colin Rugg posted this. He said, News Nation reporter says his entire view of the New Jersey drones has changed after he witnessed 50 of them flying from the ocean. The drones are reportedly 8 to 10 feet wide and can't be detected because they don't give off heat. That's what they're saying. I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, I didn't pay it much credence. I don't know how it goes. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean. So this is, how long is this? 2 minutes? That's a long time. But let's have just a small little listen here to what he had to say, since, again, Colin Rugg and Megyn Kelly both reposted this.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
Let's see what we can see.
2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department.
Okay, so I'll put a pin or a link or whatever up so you can watch the rest of this video, because they were taking up the new Ocean County, New Jersey Police Department was taking up its own drones to try to figure out what the crap was actually going on in the sky. And again, guess what wouldn't be happening if they weren't actually there? The Ocean City, whatever, New Jersey Police Department would not be taking up their own drones if there weren't actual drones already in the effing sky and nobody knows what they are. So again, the White House can suck a dick because they're clearly lying to us as often as humanly possible. This is still a very, very big deal. I saved this comment from Lorraine Hernandez. Again, I think she's just a regular everyday person like us. And she commented on this this Colin Rugg post, and she says, but wait, the government said there are no drones. They also said that the drones that don't exist are not dangerous. They also said they don't have the authority to shoot down the drones that don't exist. And you need not be worried because you're confusing the drones that don't exist with manned aircraft, because as you know, drones and manned aircraft looked almost identical. See, I saved her because I love sarcasm. It's like my favorite kind of chasm. And, well, no, that's gasm. Never mind. So I saved that because it makes perfect sense. It is exactly how I think, right? Right? Now let's go to this one. Save this because, again, it's the way I think. I can tell you right now, they are military drones, our military. I have a commercial drone license, and they know when my drone is up after it reaches 50 feet. They then assign a unique signature to it and track it on radar, like a heat-seeking missile, for example, until it goes below 50 feet again. I talked to a friend in the military who also works with drones, and he said 100% these are our drones, and they would only be used in such excess for a serious reason, and gave examples like, ready? Tracking nuclear fallout from a dirty bomb that went off, tracking biological weapons, fun, tracking WMDs or search for them from a credible threat. Now, because this person mentioned nuclear fallout, let me just quickly take you from the East Coast, my dudes, over to the West Coast. And remember how yesterday we talked about the dude, the Chinese man who has citizenship here in the U.S., was flying a drone over the something or other base that starts with a V, and I can't remember the name, flying a drone, and then decided he was going to jump on a plane to go back to China with whatever information that he had, okay? What's interesting is that you guys remember maybe a week ago, there was that earthquake over in California off the coast of San Diego? Where the hell was it? San Diego? I don't remember. They were talking after that about there was a very high spike in radiation after the earthquake. There was a spike in radiation. The earthquake happened off the coast. They were worried about a tsunami, and there was a spike in radiation. So the question here is, was it really an earthquake? Okay. Or was it some sort of nuclear weapon that was dropped into the water, which caused said earthquake? And that's why they're also worried about a tsunami, because the water would, clearly tsunami itself. And then that would explain a spike in radiation. Since then is when we've seen these drones, right? The drones have picked up since that. Are they connected at all? Did our government think that maybe there was some sort of nuclear activity on the West Coast? Oh, Vandenberg Air Force Base, thank you. Did our government think there was some sort of nuclear activity on the West Coast, and now they are using their naval base and areas over on the East Coast to test drones to see if they can find that kind of thing, so then they can send them on the other side of the country or all around. It's just a thought I had based off of what has happened in the past couple weeks when it comes to this saying track nuclear fallout. We know that Russia sent a missile over into Ukraine after Ukraine first fired those long-range missiles at them. Russia sent back a missile, which I don't remember what they're called. It's got some letters to it, that would have been what could carry a nuclear bomb. They sent it back nuclear bombless, which is great. Sent it back nuclear bombless, but it was to show them and us and everybody else that Russia has the ability to send nuclear missiles. At the same time, just a few days ago, Vladimir Putin, no, what's his name? That's his first name, right? Vladimir? Because the other one's Zelensky. What's Zelensky's first name? Frick, I don't know. Putin said he wanted all Russian citizens to come home, to leave the U.S. and leave wherever they were and go back to Russia. Not just men for fighting, but men, women, children, everybody wanted them back into Russia. Why would you want them to leave the U.S.? Why does it matter if they're here? Very curious. All of this, I think, goes together. Personally, I think it goes together. I do see somebody said something about Red Dawn. Watch that. And yes, all of it makes sense. Wait, are they both Vladimir? No, they're not. I don't know who's who. I don't know what's what. I just know Zelensky and Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. Is that how it goes? Y'all, I don't freaking care. Putin is all that matters. That sounds like farts. Putin is all that matters. More room out than in. All of it to me seems to go together at the end of the day. If you step back and look at all the little bitty pieces and make it into its own thing, I feel like it goes together. So there's a lot more we could talk about the drones. But instead, now we are going to move over to, make sure I get to the right place here. No, not that. Let's move over to, we'll do one more drone thing and then we're done. So this came out, officials investigating a possible drone landing in, what does this say? Hillsborough Township, New Jersey. So Nick Sorter posted this on X, and this was about 23 hours ago, a day ago. He said a massive search effort is underway in Hillsborough, New Jersey after a possible drone landing. This is per CBS New York. Multiple agencies, including hazmat teams, are on scene, and the FBI has now gotten involved. Crews are doing a wide area search on foot and four-wheelers, but are releasing no statements to the public. The good news is, after this was all said and done, Hillsborough Township Police Department and Fire Department found no evidence of an alleged drone landing or crash. But the fact was, they thought the drones that don't exist, they thought one of these non-existent drones landed somewhere or crashed somewhere in Hillsborough, New Jersey, and they sent out firefighters in hazmat suits and FBI to look for the drone that doesn't exist, right? Again, our government is full of shit. So that's the last drone one we're going to do for right now. Let's get back to Pelosi. Y'all ready for this? So Nancy Pelosi, we talked about her yesterday, the breaking news when it came out, when she fell. All we knew was that she fell and she hurt herself and she was in the hospital, right? Well, it turns out those marble stairs in Luxembourg, wherever she was, to take these pictures, they were probably a little slippery. Maybe her ankles twisted a little bit and gave way. But basically, she busted ass on these marble stairs and she broke her hip. I believe this picture that's taken here is right after she fell down the stairs. I think the stairs that they're on are the ones that she fell down. You can see her holding her leg, her hip. She has her knee bent there. She's holding on to this man for dear life to hold her up. So I think that she fell down the stairs, was like, all right, we're already here. Take the damn picture and then take me to a hospital, right? So the problem for Nancy Pelosi is that they say that she is 82, I think, 82, 84, one of the two. I don't remember. She's older. That hip replacements for some reason, or hip injuries, she's going to have a hip replacement. Those, for some reason, increase your risk of dementia afterwards and increase your risk of earlier demise or death or whatever word you want to go with, right? That's not good for Pelosi. I mean, we won't have to worry about term limits if she croaks out, but at the same time, you don't want anybody to die, right? Like, ever, at all. Just know that it's possible. Again, The timing of her falling down some marble stairs, I know a lot of people are like, she was probably, her and Kamala Harris are probably drinking buddies when nobody's looking. The timing of her falling down some stairs and needing to be in a hospital right at the same time with Luigi Mangione being arrested for the murder of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO, even though he did not have United Healthcare as his insurance. Explain to me why he would want to take out the CEO of that corporation when he had nothing to do with them. I've already said Luigi Mangione was the target for the whole thing. Brian Thompson being taken out was like a twofer kind of thing, but it's all designed to take down the Mangione family, who has very, very personal ties to Nancy Pelosi and her family. Nancy Pelosi also has ties to United Healthcare because of the money that she, how do I remember this? The money that she invested in the same company that was going to be looking into the cyber attacks or security hacks. She was about to make a shit ton of money off of that, or already did, one of the two. And Brian Thompson was set to testify against Nancy Pelosi after he was done at his investor meeting in New York, which is why he was there. All of it goes together. Nancy Pelosi has one crooked, gnarled finger in every single thing that is going on right now. Believe it. The coup on Biden, Kamala Harris being named as the nominee, the candidate for presidency, all of it. Now her falling down the stairs. It would not surprise me if somebody behind her said, and just shoved her ass right down the stairs, right? Now she's in the hospital, and probably was supposed to break her neck or something. Now she's in the hospital. But if we hear in the coming days that Nancy Pelosi didn't make it through surgery, because she is older, the anesthesia, that's what it is. The anesthesia, for some reason, has a tendency to push forward early onset dementia, to like exacerbate it, right? So let's say she doesn't make it through surgery, or there's some sort of infection or whatever later, or dementia sets in. If Nancy Pelosi is no longer breathing by January 20th, I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it right now, that the same people that she was working with to, F over Biden and everybody else that she's been bending over and effing, like January 6th, hello? If something happens to her before January 20th and she is no longer breathing, the Democrats did it. The Democrats did it. They took her out because she is a loose end. That's how I feel about it, personally. I would like to be wrong. Again, I would much rather be wrong on 99% of the stuff we talk about than be right on it. But when you have everything that is going on right now, and Pelosi has ties to every single player in all of these little games going around, come on now. Like, are you serious? If she happens to perish, then there's no more ability to really go after her for January 6th. If she is to perish, it's going to make it harder for anybody to prove that Luigi Mangione is set up, because I still think he is. I do not think he's the shooter. His face does not match at all the face of the person who was wearing the cream-colored backpack or gray backpack and the black outfit that their face was taken a picture of in the hostel. Does not match. The eyebrows, the top of the nose, none of it. Yeah, they're saying there's fingerprints on the bullets, but prove it. You can say what you want all day long, but until you can prove it, you're just saying words. All of it goes together. So again, her husband was attacked. I think somebody just said, I don't know. Her husband was attacked however long ago. That again ties to something. Oh, that is all. That is all. I feel like it all goes together. And that's that. Now let's move away just real quick. We've been here 34 minutes. I'm going to let you guys get back to your day very, very soon. I promise. Donald Trump posted this today at midnight. He was up late, I guess. And he says, Joe Biden keeps talking about a smooth transition and a unified government, and yet he races to sell desperately needed border wall for pennies on the dollar. It will cost the U.S. a fortune and time to get the exact same wall to replace what has been sold, and the new wall will cost triple the price. It is crazy and must be stopped. We talked about it yesterday. That the wall all the materials that were purchased from 2016 to 2020 under Donald Trump cost, let's say, $5. Now, because of Joe Biden's inflation, those same materials are going to cost 3 times as much. The labor is going to cost 3 times as much. And it's going to take even longer because of all these weather issues, because of climate change and whatever other shit they want to throw at us, right? And it is, again, another thing that the Democrats are throwing at Donald Trump to ensure that there are hiccups or a wrench in his presidency. You have the Democrats now saying that they're not even going to go to the inauguration of Donald Trump, which, does he really care? He's going to have the friggin' leader of China there. Does he really need the Democrats? Having Xi Jinping, or whatever the crap his name is, there is going to be the biggest FU, not only to the Democrats, but to the world itself. And it's going to remind everybody that Donald Trump is probably the most, I'm going to use the word respected and feared person in charge out of all of these countries, right? So where is it here? I had a thing and a thing with a thing. Breaking, Axios reports that Democrats are potentially planning to boycott President Trump's inauguration. This is from Benny Johnson. He posted it up. I don't think Donald Trump is going to care. Now, 2016 Donald Trump, I feel like his ego was much, much larger than it is now. I feel like he has, through 2016 to 2020, it was more, he was very ego based, and I did not like him before. I've told y'all before, I am a reformed dumbass is what I call myself, because I would technically be considered a Democrat or a liberal when I was younger, because I just paid attention to what the news said, didn't bother doing any kind of thinking for myself or research for myself, because it was just easier to be spoon-fed whatever bullshit they were giving me and go about my daily life, because I wasn't being affected negatively by anything that was going on. 2016, I was an avid, ew, Trump, ew, he's misogynist, he's racist, he's, sexist, he's whatever, because I was still being spoon-fed the bullshit by the left. 2020 hits, and I see the way Donald Trump deals with COVID, and then I see what happens when Biden and Harris come in, and they completely fuck our entire country, and working men and women, our economy, our borders, absolutely everything. And I stepped back and I said, oh, wait, please hold. The Democrats telling me that they are the best things to breathe since Jesus, and here you are proving to me on a daily basis that you're closer to Satan than anything. Let me relook at everything that I thought was true for the past, 30 something years. I'm 42 now, so this happened, within the last 4 years for myself. So I start looking at everything, and I'm like, oh, nope. Turns out I was just dumb as shit, because I believed what they were telling me, because who thinks that their government is going to purposefully dumb them down, lie to them, make them defenseless, make them just parroting robots of crap? Like, that's what it was. And now you step back and you can see the absolute difference. I see a massive difference in Donald Trump now when he is speaking versus 2016 to 2020. Even 2020, I noticed that he was going to be not as egotistical as he was. Now I feel like he's not egotistical, he's factual. So when he says something about, I did this, I did that, blah, 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 before I would have looked at it as ego, because that's how the left pushed him. That's how the left convinced me he was. Now I looked at it as he is stating facts. These are facts that need to be known. When he says, I had less illegal immigrants coming through our southern border, then that's not ego. That is fact that needs to be understood by the people, so that when they are voting for him, or when they are wondering why things have deteriorated so badly over the last 4 years versus when he was in office, you understand, because of the facts that he is saying, right? So that's that. Y'all, I talk too much and I know it, and it is what it is, and I don't care. There's a lot more we could do, but we've been here like 40 minutes. It's Saturday. It's really nice out. I just finished Pilates, so I stink. I need a shower and I need some food because I'm flipping hungry now. So we'll do more stuff tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. I don't know what moderators are here. I think I've only got Sarah, and I know she's in here. I just had somebody who wouldn't shut up about an Iron Dome. Bro, come on now. You said it once. You don't need to say it 700 times. We gotcha. I appreciate y'all for being in the live chat, for being part of the Squirrel Tribe. I love you immensely. Sarah, you're my girl. I love you. And I hope y'all have a fabulous rest of your Saturday. I will be keeping an eye on everything that's going on. We may be talking drones again tomorrow. If you're okay with that, show up. If not, it's okay. I won't be mad at you either way. So have a fabulous Saturday. I'm gonna go hang out with my family, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Goodbye.